BXG Podcast, a podcast where pop culture and nerd culture meet at the nexus of the universe and are melded as seamlessly as fatalities and flawless victories. I am one of your hosts, Brenton Bestwick, alongside my co-host, Earthrealm's champion, Greg Filson. Greg, how are you tonight?
I'm doing all right. It's been another long week, but I'm through it, and I'm here now, excited to jump in. Nothing of note to report, just kind of same old.
Yeah, same here. Just, getting back into the swing of things. I guess I do have something to report. I was on, I was a guest on Dallas's Outrospective last night. I'm not sure if that's going to release this week or another time, but that'll be forthcoming. So I thought our first one was terrible, and he cleaned it up pretty good. So I had the same sort of feeling after this one, but he said something to the effect of, I'm not sure what porn is, but I know when I see it, and I don't know what a good podcast is, and I know when I hear it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. He also said that the tallest mountains are climbed with the smallest shoes.
He did.
So
he's a philosopher of our time, for sure.
He's something. Yeah. So that'll be coming up, and I'll throw it in the notes, like a link for his show on Spotify or Apple or whatever this week. But BXG Podcast publishes every Friday at 7 a.m. on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and other podcasts around the globe. Official social media accounts for Facebook.com/BXG Podcast, Instagram @BXG Podcast, @GTFills, @Y2B, Twitter @BXG Podcast, YouTube.com/BXG Podcast for, as of right now, one segment a week on video. But I'm going to make the announcement because this is going to start next week's show. I'm going to put a segment on every day. We're just going to record the whole thing. We're going to chop it up. I think that I did kind of an informal poll amongst some people who listen, and I know certain people skip certain things, and so this might be an easier way for them to interact, and they can just kind of cherry pick the topics that they want. The videos have been doing decent. So episode 31, we had a little chat about Game of Thrones, and the video for that can be seen over on the YouTube channel. So there's that. We do have some movement along the social media scoreboard. John Kish remains with 13 points. Jared L's closing the gap with 2. EJT has 1, and new entries: Anthony Walker, 1 point, Aaron H, 1 point, and David S from Carn City, 1 point. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go on to the next thing, and we'll see if we can rescind that point for David S from Carn City. We put out a poll following that episode. 50% are you excited for the Game of Thrones prequels? And 50% of the respondents said that they were excited, including David S. from Carn City, who wrote in to say, I don't disagree about the discussion about too many prequels, but I disagree overall with the assessment of Game of Thrones. It's a top 5 show all time, even with the garbage ending. Take the ending out, and it's in contention for best show ever. This is what I'm going to say to David S. from Carn City. If I'm a pitcher and I throw 26 perfect outs and then get blown up and give up walk 2 guys, a bloop and a blast, and I lose the game, you don't get credit for an almost perfect game.
And it wasn't like the last episode was bad. That whole season was bad.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it'd be different if like the very last episode was bad and you're like, okay, whatever, the rest of the season. But the whole season was terrible. So it's not that you got 20 outs. You got through 7 innings and then you couldn't finish out the game. That's 21 outs. So that's always been my thing with Game of Thrones.
I think if they just would have taken the time to make it a full season,
right?
It would have changed a lot of things, but they didn't. Oscar prediction winner was Greg with 1.
Francis McDormand, right?
one correct pick.
Yeah, well, that was crazy.
That.
I was thinking I was right. I was just wrong. I thought it'd be old white guy thing, but we went even older white guy with Anthony Hopkins. So oldest white guy.
Yeah, we'll touch on that.
We will.
One of the topics in the 6-pack. We do have a couple corrections and clarifications. Number one, I referred to my wife and I as being fully vaccinated and not fully vaccinated because I'm a dumb fuck.
It happens.
So, number two, this one actually was a write-in from John K. He actually called us on this. He said, Jake Paul is 6'1" and 200 pounds. Logan Paul is 6 foot and 220 pounds.
Good to know. I'm also probably those then.
I looked it up. I verified it. I looked it up.
Oh, I don't. It's just it's the basketball. It's the high school basketball player height. Well, it's just the basketball player height in general. Everyone's
Sometimes
like
they bring.
Well, they bring 7-footers down, and then they bring everybody else up.
I think they bring LeBron's weight down. They have him listed as 250. There's no way.
Oh, there's no way. He hasn't been weighed since high school. Then
he's 270.
Yeah.
Of solid rock.
Yeah. Right.
But finally. We had a discussion also about Return of the King, and I said that it was at some point in our college career, and I Googled it, and it was December 17th of 2003, which would have been our freshman year. Yeah. Then when researching that, I also learned that there's an extended cut of the film, which is a whopping 251 minutes long.
Holy crap.
A full 50 minutes longer.
Nope.
Than the 3 hours and 20-minute original cut, slightly longer than the Snyder cut. So
slightly longer than our lives.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Right. That's what. Yeah. I tried to verify through Bob Sacamano if it was Newcastle that we saw that at, but that was not a piece of random trivia that he had.
It was. I'll guarantee 100%.
Yeah.
We saw that we had to drive to Newcastle.
My thing was I couldn't remember for sure if it was Newcastle or Butler.
It was Newcastle.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But we have an exciting six-pack of topics tonight, as well as a slew of quick hitters, and as always, our media recommendation. But first, we kick things off with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season finale, One World, One People. The fight is on from the jump. I thought there would be like 5 minutes of talkie time, but there was like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
The fight is on from the jump. Falcon arrives in his fresh Star-Spangled suit to take on the Flag Smashers and Batroc the Jumper. That's such an awesome name.
Batroc the Jumper.
And that's also George St. Pierre, the MMA fighter who portrays him, who also was him in Winter Soldier. As Sam tussles with Batroc and Carly, down below, Bucky takes on the rest of the Flag Smasher crew. He eventually is joined by John Walker, janky-ass shield and all. Bucky and Flag Smasher A fall below, and an armored truck is about to smash them. When Walker is redeemed by saving the truck full of civilians instead of chasing after Flag Smasher B. Sam rescues a helicopter before returning to the fight, and it is revealed that Sharon Carter is indeed the power broker, Point, Jared, and Anthony. Carly attacks Sam, who won't fight back, and eventually Sharon caps Carly. Bucky and Walker use the Flag Smasher app to trick the Flag Smashers A through D into custody. Sam returns to the ground with Carly's body and gives a rousing speech about how everyone has to change. People have no voice, have struggled, are having decisions made for them by people who do not know what the struggle is. He acknowledges that by taking up the shield, people will hate him because of his race. He's got no super serum, no blonde hair, blue eyes. The only power he has is he believes we can do better.
Yep. Amen.
The rest of the episode gives us some hasty exposition and payoffs as Bucky makes amends with the Asian man whose son he murdered, as well as his therapist. John meets back up with Val, and he is redubbed U.S. agent in a similar suit, just black instead of blue. The remaining Flag Smashers are sent to the raft by the armored car, but the armored car transporting them is blown up by Zemo's evil Alfred Pennyworth. Sam visits Isaiah, and they have some touching moments, and Sam shows Isaiah a recently added area to the Captain America exhibit where Isaiah's legacy is finally honored. Finally, the credits roll, and the title is changed from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, acknowledging Sam has ascended to Captain America. In the mid-credit scene, we see Sharon Carter getting her pardon and then reaching out to buyers interested in U.S. secrets, military weapons, etc., 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 setting her up as a potential big bad moving forward. So before we get into a couple of these other little bullet points I have here, what did you think of the finale?
I loved it. It was everything that I wanted, like with just the action right off the start. I mean, like there was no talky talk like you said. It was like, let's get into it. We get to see the new suit, the Wakanda suit, which is from the comic books, that suit. I mean, it's like, if you look at the comic book pictures, I mean, they nailed it, which is super cool. He doesn't have the Black Panther powers. It doesn't absorb, which is fine because there is only a Black Panther, but it's definitely like, nice piece of armor. And it was just like one of those episodes, like you and I had texted about it, and you're like, wish it was a little bit longer. I actually liked the time of it, just because there wasn't too much talky talk, and you got to go and just see him fight, see him become Captain America. You got to see U.S. Agent be brought to life, but not too much of that. And then Bucky kind of like coming at peace with himself, which is, I mean, I think, obviously becoming Captain America was part of the show, but also Bucky just finding peace within himself was I think actually a bigger thing in this show than having a new Captain America, because we always knew that he was going to be Captain America. But Bucky being okay, like, I saw different things where people were like, he didn't have his glove on when he was at the party, which meant he felt comfortable, and he's holding those kids up, which was like one of my favorite scenes. And this show, I am so sad that it's ended. I'm glad they're going to do a movie, but this show really just like hit all those notes you want from the Captain America series. I mean, other than having Steve Rogers, it really hits all those notes, which I love. I mean, the Captain America plot lines were my favorite in Marvel, and you're not missing that. You have a different Captain America, but you get all the stuff that I like from it just from a different character, which I think is super cool, and I really like this episode. And I like where it's going. I like that Sharon is Agent Carter, and the whole thing is Agent Carter was so sweet, and that's what Steve ends up with, but now you have evil Agent Carter, and I think that's a great little twist. And yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was a great finale to this, and whether we go on further with the show, we know we're getting the movie. I'm just pumped. I'm pumped that we get, I've said this before, I'm pumped that we have like a land series in the MCU. Because the space stuff's going to be cool, but it's nice to have stuff where like, oh, this is somewhat realistic to whatever degree.
My initial reaction, like, because I usually text you like immediately after I've watched whatever, or even sometimes during. After I kind of sat with it a little bit, and this is just the nature of me and me being kind of a Debbie Downer about everything. There were some things that when I looked back at it, I really was disappointed with. John Walker arc of, okay, like everybody immediately hates him because he's not Steve, or more accurately, just that he's not Chris Evans, right? And then the first few episodes you're shown like he's not really that bad of a guy. And then you get like all of his insecurities, and then he murders someone with the shield, gets the shield taken away from him, and then basically says, takes his ball and goes home via the mid-credit scene in episode 5 where he's like, no, I'm going to make my own shield. I'm going to make my own shield out of whatever shit I have laying around the garage.
Which we saw that was absolute shit. That shield got destroyed.
In like seconds.
Yeah.
So like, I guess for me it was like, I had a little bit of a problem with, he just shows up still wearing the suit and still having a shield, not a good one, but a shield. And they're just like, I guess we trust you now. Like the last time they saw this guy, they had to literally break his arm and rip the shield off of it. And so this is where the whole, like, it could have been a little bit longer comes in for me, because I think that what they did with Sam was perfect. Was 10 out of 10 perfect. Everything from the suit to his fighting and the speech that he made, as well as like the scenes at the end with Isaiah. Those were all perfect. It was the other characters, the ancillary characters, that didn't get enough service. I like the John Walker thing is like, and then that's the thing is like, okay, he's U.S. agent now. Well, what does that mean? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he, shades of gray? We don't really know. Is Valentina Contessa, DeFabio, whatever the hell her name is, Julia Louise Dreyfus, is she good? Is she bad? Is she?
Maybe she's just like Elaine. We don't know if Elaine's good or bad.
No, we know Elaine's a terrible person. That's That's neither here nor there. But like she seems like she's like kind of like setting up to be like a new version of Nick Fury to a certain extent, but like maybe like a little bit more on the bad side. I don't know. Like I think that probably Black Widow will give her character a little bit more context. And then even the thing with Bucky, it was like the whole payoff to like the Asian man that he had to make amends to, was like that just, it felt so rushed. I just wish they would have spent a little bit more time on all those things. I really like the whole Sharon Carter thing was just like, I don't give a shit about her at all.
I think that, I mean, you have to pay amends to Steve's timeline still, though. I think that's why you do that, because this is a relative of Agent Carter. I mean, like, you know.
Yeah,
so I think,
well, they're setting her, it seems like they're setting her up to be like a primary bad guy, and I just like don't care. I don't care about her, like even a little bit.
I mean, I don't think it's that I care about. I just like that they do that little twist to give you a little bit of like, oh, I mean, people really like Steve and Agent Carter together in that, you know, obviously the way they ended that. So I think that's kind of what they're going towards. But I think too, and what you're talking about, like you rush all those other things, at the end of the day, this is still Captain America.
Yeah, sure.
The most important character in...
Well, it's Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Right, but I'm saying I mean, how many people even cared about the Winter Soldier before these movies? But Captain America is like literally like, it's either Spider-Man, Captain America, or Iron Man when you're a kid. You pick one of those, and that's kind of what you ride with. And, you know, Winter Soldier, you know, he's in the title, and I get that. Because the thing I will say, I, like, really grew to, like, Winter Soldier, it's like character through this, and Sebastian Stan. I mean, Sebastian Stan, who I've seen in person.
Right.
Which is cool.
Right.
Looked exactly like he looks in this show with the haircut and everything. But it was like, I didn't care that much about him in the movies, other than he's Steve's friend. But they did make you a very likable guy in this show. Yeah. And he'll definitely be going forward. He'll probably be in all the Captain America movies going forward because, like we've said, you know, Sam's awesome. He doesn't have any superpowers. He's got a cool suit and probably pretty indestructible, but he still needs another guy to help him out. So I think going forward, I'm excited about that. Like I said, I like the ground game of having that because the rest of the MCU is definitely going towards space. Other than Spider-Man, magic and dimensions and all that crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is maybe a little bit more grounded. You kind of mentioned it, and it's one of our first like extra bullet points. So hours after the finale, they did confirm that a Captain America form film is in development, and they also changed like on all of the like at Captain America like Twitter and everything. They changed it from Chris Evans to Anthony Mackie. Yeah. So it's like it or not, you know what I mean? I mean, personally, I like it. Like I said, I thought Sam's arc the whole way through was completely perfect. And I think that they can kind of explore some of the themes that they began to scratch the surface of, especially in the last episode where he said being a black man and picking up the shield, I know people are just going to hate me for it. I think that that's certainly a theme that they can play with. Whether it's in the next movie or if they decide to do another series, I think them saying that Falcon and the Winter Soldier could have multiple seasons was almost like a bit of a red herring or a little bit of a misdirection because then they announced, there's going to be Captain America 4. So I wonder if that was maybe a little bit of a smokescreen whenever they said that prior to. And I wonder if maybe, and that was the thing too, and we had said last week was, we'd said, well, this doesn't feel like it's setting up anything. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, like maybe there's some tethers to Black Panther 2 or this or that. But, well, now we know what it's setting up. It's setting up Captain America 4. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm here for it 100%. I mean, having the Power Broker, which is funny in the comic books, the Power Broker is actually like a major character that like is a, you know, Captain America, like, you know, enemy. Or whatever, but there's going to be other things that happen, which will set up other, you know, parts. She'll be a character that eventually will be overtaken by something bigger and stronger. Sure. You know, and I think that's kind of what. But this was just this is a wink and a nod to the Agent Carter part, and you know, and I like that. I like the thing that too about this particular episode was that it was just like it with, and I'm actually speaking towards U.S. Agent, is that I like that he can still be, you don't know, like you said, shades of gray. In the comic books, he's shades of gray. He kind of does whatever Val tells him. He's just kind of in that realm of like, oh, I need you to help, I need you to do this. I like that going forward too, and the hate's definitely gone down finally. Thank God. That was weird. Because he's going to be a cool character, I think, going forward. I think he's going to be this character that the MCU doesn't have. And I think that's good going forward. A good bad guy, which is nice. So I'm excited about what's going forward. I love this show. I'm sad it's ending, but, we get Loki here in about a month and a half or whatever, and that'll be good. But this was, we really MCU just crushed it. Everybody else, movies weren't doing that well, all this stuff, but MCU just killed it with this whole stuff.
Well, that kind of brings us to the next question, which is we now have 2 series under our belt, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Which one did you like more? We put this out as a poll. The audience responded 40% liked WandaVision better, 60% liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier better. Which one would you pick if you had to pick one?
I'm going to say Falcon I liked more, but I knew I was going to like it more. So the WandaVision, if you take it based on expectations and then how I ended up liking it, it's probably actually WandaVision I liked more than what I thought. Mm-hmm. Falcon, I liked it. I think I liked it just as much as I thought it would because I'm like, this is going to be a spy thriller TV series that involves characters I like in the MCU. WandaVision was like a show I had no, I shouldn't say no expectations because until the MCU screws something up, I'm going to like it. But I didn't know where we were going, and I ended up loving that show. So I mean, this was kind of like a way to like cop out of things. But Falcon I liked more because it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. But Wanda I ended up liking way more than I thought I would. So it's like, it's almost like part of me, like it's a 51-49 where it's like, I really like both the shows and it just makes you excited about what they're doing going forward, which is what we say all the time about the MCU. But what did you think?
I liked WandaVision more.
I thought you were going to say that.
The reason I liked it more is because of the, half of last week's episode that I spent ranting on Make Something New. That was something new.
Yeah.
It had the hallmarks of the Marvel with like some twists and turns and some like not really many big fights until the last episode, but it was so different.
Yeah.
It was so out there. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like really excited for Loki. Maybe more so than I was prior to everything, because I think that Loki is now going to, in certain ways, marry the two.
Yes.
Of having the Marvel stuff, but then also having like the unexpected, strange sort of things.
I think it's going to be very tongue-in-cheek, Loki. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do think that there's going to be moments. You know what I mean? I think there's going to be Marvel moments, but then I also think that it's going to be strange. It's going to be different. It's going to be different.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely like that. But it's nothing to take away from Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I really enjoyed it, but it was just exactly what I expected it to be. It didn't, like, there were really no surprises. You know what I mean? And so I think it was kind of safe. We all knew Sam was going to end up as Captain America. We all knew that, the guy that was going to be Captain America was going to turn out to be kind of an antagonist. We all knew that the Flag Smashers were going to get, defeated in the end, which shout out to Flag Smasher A through D. And the reason I wrote it that way is because they were so nondescript and generic.
Yes.
That they were like fighting slimes in a Final Fantasy game where they just put it up on the screen, slime A, slime B, slime C. Like, they were just so generic outside of Delonte West and even she was just like, oh, okay, you're a geoterrorist or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't a very compelling bad guy. I thought that John Walker was far more compelling as an antagonist once he assumed that role. And then just sort of the mystery behind, like, who is the power broker, that sort of thing. And what is Zemo going to do? Like, that was, the mystery of what Zemo, and even he kind of went out with a fizzle in the end. I mean, he had his evil butler blow up that van, and then he just like somehow knows that it happened and like smiles and goes on reading his book. So,
but we're saying the same thing, just different. It's like the Winter Soldier, like I've said on this show, is my favorite Marvel movie.
Right. Yeah.
So I think if that's your thing, where like that's your favorite Marvel movie, then this is exactly the show you want. If any other movie from the Marvel universe that isn't Captain America in the title isn't your favorite isn't your favorite movie from the Marvel universe, and I think you're 100% on that. I totally get it. It's just like that there's just that thing where it's like you just, like I've said, there's so many spy thrillers that are just regular movies or spy thrillers, and somehow they were able to take Captain America, make it a spy thriller. And if you've never watched this before, like this series, I think you could probably bring someone in that has nothing to do with Marvel, and they probably would enjoy it just because of the spy aspect of it. They're not going to enjoy it as much as like I would, but they're going to get it. I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's not like I'm hating on it.
Right. What would you give it out of 10? What would you give WandaVision? What would you give it?
I would give WandaVision a 9.
Yeah.
I would give Falcon and the Winter Soldier like a strong 7.
I was going to just reverse. That's what I would reverse. And that's, 9 and 7.
But like I said, it's hard. I've said this a lot, is it's hard to give scores when they're two things that are so different.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I find like numbered scoring systems reductive, because, and I've said this before, you know, you take a movie like, I don't know, The Shawshank Redemption. That's a perfect drama. It's a 10 out of 10 drama. And then you take a movie like Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, which in my eyes is a perfect 10 out of 10 comedy.
Right.
Is Anchorman as good of a movie as Shawshank Redemption?
Yes.
No.
100% yes.
No. It's not. It's not.
A better movie, I think is what you're saying. Better movie.
Yeah, right. Well.
More rewatchable.
Than Shawshank Redemption.
Way more rewatchable than Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption is so depressing.
There's a reason why it's on TNT every weekend.
I can't watch the whole movie over again. Though I'll watch
years.
like 15 minutes of it.
I can watch it over again.
Wow,
I can watch it.
You got a different innards than I do. It's so depressing. It's great, but I can't.
Have you met me?
I know. I shouldn't be shocked.
Anyway,
yeah.
As you said, you know, I like.
We're stoked for Loki. Either way, we're stoked for Loki because that's gonna be incredible.
We're stoked for Loki. We're stoked for what comes after. Well, I think What If is the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we get any new series until the fall.
But we get a bunch of movies.
We get movies.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We get.
Because Loki goes right into
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
Like same time.
Yeah.
Same time frame. They might even come out on the same day. Or wait,
Black
Widow
Widow's
got
in
bumped to July.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For
Which
some
I'm
reason
so
that I
stoked
had.
on.
Loki is the same day as Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
June 11th.
There you go.
Yeah.
Big day.
I knew that there was two things on. Yeah, I might take the day off. So anyway, yeah, that's Falcon. It's good. Check it out. Watch it. It's fun. It's Marvel. I mean, it's Marvel. It's 100% Marvel. It's exactly what you expect when you expect a Marvel property. It introduces some cool characters, and the main thing is that Sam ascends to be Captain America. And it's just like his story arc, like I said, his story arc's perfect. Mm-hmm. I have issues with some of the other characters' story arcs, but Sam's is perfect. It's as perfect as it can be.
I 100% agree. And another story arc that's just as perfect as can be, Greg Way.
Indeed.
So we are at MTV The Challenge finale. And I'm sad, like, two things ended this week for us, which is just, and two of our favorite things, which is weird.
Usually the top two topics.
Right, yeah. So this is a bummer, and, it's bittersweet. This episode was brought to you by The Culture Club as a come on, chameleon. Took hold and struck hard and fast, which I loved. I will say, I was going to comment real quick. The soundtrack for this entire season killed it.
Bomb.
Knocked it out of the park.
Lit.
Well done, MTV. It's like they almost did music at one point. Fessy sat in the corner refusing to eat and was warned by TJ that he and partner Casey would be timed out and DQ'd, which is exactly what happened. For someone who complained about not being able to complete when given the opportunity to compete, he opted not to, and it was very telling. Ugh. Just great. The rest of the episode can be summed up by saying CT and Amber easily won the final with no drama whatsoever. Cam and Corey took second place, finishing just seconds before Leroy and Nani. The real fun will be when the reunion show convenes and Fessy attempts to justify all of his missteps throughout the season. Wow.
Which there were many.
Holy cow. What, like, the thing is, and we've said this, is he had no idea what karma was, but all anyone has to do is just replay this season to him, and he'll figure it out. It's so perfect. We were saying, I think almost midway, we thought that our boy was going to win CT, and because he was a little snake in the grass.
Yeah.
And then you realize what it is. And shout out to Amber B.
Yep, rookie
winner, cross country runner. Yeah. Shout out to those long distance runners, babies. Tuesday 10s.
Yeah. Right. This was I saw a statistic online that this was the most watched challenge episode in the last 15 years.
I get it.
Which is a shame because there was no drama in it whatsoever.
Right. It felt like there was gonna be, and then it's just nothing. No drama. This was
the real thing for me was like CT's been on this since the birth of Christ.
18 years, 18th season for
him.
And
somehow he never dropped the knowledge that he like worked for an engineering firm as a senior in high school and was going to take over his dad's telecommunications empire.
Like, so he's a genius. Guy probably got 1,600 on his SATs. Got into Harvard.
We knew Fessy. We knew CT was like good at puzzles and like smart and stuff, but then he drops that little nugget on us, and it's just like, oh,
my friggin' genius.
He's just like not fair. He's like freaking. He's like, I realize he's only won 4 now, which puts him in second place, tied with Darrell behind Bananas with 7.
He's been screwed a lot too, though. I will say he's been screwed more than probably anyone other than Wes.
He overplays his hand sometimes in challenges. And like he was I remember the one year he got eliminated. He was in a bizarre pole wrestle where there was 3 people doing it.
Yes.
And he just like his brain melted down. And then last season he got beat by that skinny little Jay in the one thing that like was so obviously like built for CT. So like he gets a little bit overconfident sometimes, but like when he's going on all cylinders, man, he's like Tecmo Bo Jackson.
He really is. Yeah.
Like he's like physically, he's strong. He is able to run, which I don't understand because I know he's a heavy smoker. I don't understand how he's able to run up a mountain. Like that defies the laws.
Maybe he just doesn't smoke like the 6 months before when he's training.
It showed him in one of the episodes
smoking. I know.
Yeah. And but like even that is just like, what is like, how is he able to do that? And then like with all the puzzles and everything, he just like, it's a joke how well he solves those. He's just something else. Maybe he's just like LeBron. Like it just doesn't, there are some people out there that are just different. They're literally just built different. And he's one of those people is literally just, he is so, when you look at him, he's such a physical freak and he talks the way he talks. He's from Boston. Right.
And you're not going to expect it. But then you're like, oh, this is a muscular genius.
Yeah.
This is what he is.
Actually.
Yeah, which is LeBron. LeBron's a muscular genius. I don't think anyone would put that aside. It's just like, that's kind of that weird thing.
It's so strange because if you lined everybody up that was on this season, and it's like, you pointed CT and you're like, you listen to him talk and he's got like the dad bod.
Yeah.
And he talks like he's a moron. Like they have to use subtitles for him half the time.
Yep.
But then it's crazy just how dominant he can be. The reunion's going to be a shit show.
I can't wait. We're reviewing that, I assume.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's going to be incredible.
We'll keep the challenge going with I'm sure it's going to be a 2-part reunion because it always is. It is worth noting, I read online that season 37 began filming a week ago and it's been shut down because one of the cast members got COVID. And this is after I read like what their like protocols are. This is okay. It's rumored, so this isn't confirmed, but it It was confirmed by 2 reliable leakers of challenge stuff online. The process is they have to be tested. They go to where the show is going to be filmed. They quarantine for 2 weeks, and then they're tested at 3 days a week while they're even on the show still. Right. And somehow somebody still got it. But then competed in the first challenge. So I'm just curious, like, if there's outside people with production that were coming in and off the set or whatever, but it's going to get shut down for 2 weeks, which means that we're not going to get it. I have a feeling it's April. We'll probably see the challenge again in like August or September.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is perfect. Yeah. That's perfect time for the challenge to roll back around. I mean, we still have the challenge All-Stars. It's bad.
I can't wait. 'Cause I'm just going to binge it in one day, I think, and just see what happens to me.
Well, I'm not going to tell you who, but somebody quits.
Nice.
Like before an elimination challenge. They just walk off.
I love it.
And TJ goes, "You really just going to quit?" And then blows the air horn and goes, "All right, don't take care. Hope to see you never."
Oh, I love it.
Like classic TJ.
Classic TJ.
So, that, but the reunion's going to be it's just going to be a mess because everybody's just going to come at Fessy.
I will,
which I can't wait.
Can't wait for that because he sucks, and it was just it's nice. It's nice when this is the thing. We're wrong on so many things in this show, but it was so nice to come to this and just be like, oh, this is the one thing we were like 100% right on.
We were very right.
So right. Like we said so early on, Fessy sucks. He's going to like somehow give up in this.
Yeah.
Because he's weak. And it's like they were so on him. And I love when when Corey's like, can you just show the video above me?
Yeah. Just put it right here. Put it right here.
Oh, it's like the thing is, the thing that I was thinking whenever Casey got injured, and that sucks. And, but also karma for her. But just like, you don't know if somebody else gets injured. There's all these things that like can happen, and for him to just like give up, like I understand, like if you lose, you lose, but you want to lose going out trying, and
right. Well, he's just all season. It's like I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to compete. It's
like lose your chance. Eat all that crap and carry her on your back, dude. Like I mean, I'm serious. Compete. And he did nothing. She carried him.
Yeah. Then the next challenge was rowing. You don't row with your fucking leg.
Yep. He's just it's so great, and it's just. And it just everyone that thing, which is weird to me, and I was pointing this out when watching it. So that's a trail that they were running. So other people just normally do the trail that they were just running, and it seemed like an insane thing to do. It's like people from there are just like, oh, this is just my morning routine. Let me just run up this glacier and take my chances.
It was in a hurricane, and I was like, hurricanes don't happen in Iceland.
Yeah.
So I Googled it. I looked it up, and it was like the first hurricane they had in 30 years.
It's crazy.
They don't get like peak winds like they do around like Florida and the Gulf Coast and stuff like that, but I mean it's still
wind,
a hurricane.
Yeah,
it's still blowing you around.
Yeah,
but
didn't look fun.
Reunion next week, and we'll have that for sure.
Can't wait.
Number three, we're gonna go ahead and test your might here a little bit with our Mortal Kombat review. This is the first Mortal Kombat film since 1997's abysmal Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It did set a new record for pandemic box office, knocking off Godzilla vs. Kong. Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, the film is a 54% critical, but an 87% user score. I'm gonna do the plot summary here. Okay, I'm gonna summarize this plot a little bit. The film opens with a deadly confrontation between Bi-Han, a Chinese ninja warrior with freezing powers, and Hanzo Hasashi, a Japanese warrior. Bi-Han murders Hanzo's eldest son and wife and kills Hanzo. However, Hanzo pledged that he would remember this face, and Bi-Han did not end the Hanzo line as his infant daughter remained and was claimed by Raiden the Thunder God. Flash forward several hundred years. Cole Young is a past his prime MMA fighter with a dragon birthmark. He is approached by an army vet named Jax, who explains that it is no ordinary birthmark. You know what? The story's fucking irrelevant. So here's what you need to know. There's a tournament, right? There's a tournament for Earthrealm. But Shang Tsung wants to use his assassins to kill all of Earth's champions before the tournament can happen, which is a little bit of cheating.
Yes.
But then that would be the 10th loss for Earth, and then it would allow the Outrealm or the Outlands or the whatever the fuck it's called to invade Earth. The Earth fighters are weaklings, like super weak, super janky, super janky champions.
Yes.
Like you're one of Earth's champions.
Yes.
And you're 5'7" and weigh 125 pounds.
I'm not 5'7".
5'6"?
I'm 5'10", dude. I'm 5'10".
5'5".
5'10". I'm
I
a
got
solid
pictures.
5'10". I'm probably not 125 pounds. I haven't weighed myself in like 3 years, but
To dispute that. The Earth fighters are weaklings and they have to become stronger. There's a confrontation that doesn't go well. Kung Lao dies and Cole gets a shiny new suit of armor, and now the Earth people are somehow magically capable of beating the people that just handed it to them. Turns out Cole is Hanzo's ancestor, which summons him from the bowels of hell to fight Bihan. Hanzo's changed his name to Scorpion. Bihan's changed his name to Sub-Zero. Scorpion wins, but the tournament hasn't even happened yet, so sequel.
So sequel. I don't even know. Like, I liked it to some degree. Like, I walked away like, okay, I'm fine with this movie because of like the action was people are fighting. That's what I want. It's Mortal Kombat. But that whole first part of the movie was like,
Indeed, it was Mortal Kombat.
the first part of the movie was like, what was that? Right? So it's this weird movie where I'm like, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, where they try to throw like a weird plot in here. And then we get nothing but fighting, which is fine. And the fighting was cool. I like the hat going through and he's that was fine.
Flawless victory.
Flawless victory.
They leaned into the corniness like a lot.
Which I actually thought was fine. And I was good with that. I felt like, and I played this game as a kid. We all did. Like, I will say, I shouldn't say I liked it. I liked it more than I thought, which doesn't mean that I liked it. Now I'm like going back and thinking about it, because I walked away with like, it was fine. But I don't know why we're doing this. I think it's actually
why we're doing this review?
No. Why we're making this movie happen.
Oh, okay.
I think it's actually my like way I go about it, where it's like, this would have been fine like in 1995 if this is the movie, and that 1995 movie is actually okay. If I remember, I haven't watched it.
That's my question is like, it's maybe better?
Yeah.
Shrugs?
Yeah. Right. But it's the, come up with something new, make something new.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool.
Well, they made something new because the main character is not even a character from any of the games.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's weird to me. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say like to watch it. It's a weird movie. It's not a movie to me. It's, like I don't it's something that happened for 2 hours. Not even 2 hours. It's like an hour and a half.
Not even. It was like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's not even.
Yeah.
It's something that happened, and I like walked away not mad. I didn't walk away mad from it. Like not like Godzilla versus King Kong, where I was like mad because there wasn't more of them fighting each other. But I just like walked away from it confused. Where it was like the fighting scenes were fine because it's Mortal Kombat. Like there's only so much you can do with those movies and those characters. But this is literally not built for anyone outside that's ever, if you've never played those played those video games, you're like, what the hell is this? And there's guys changing names. It's a weird movie in a weird time. And I'm not surprised it passed Godzilla, because I think there's also this thing where people are just really like bored and you're still not wanting to go to movies. So it's something that happens, but that's the way I would look at it. Is it's something that happened that I watched, but whatever. It's literally like watching the Pirates play the Royals right now. It's something that'll happen, and no one will care a month from now.
Yeah, I mean,
yep.
when I was done, I'm in like a Discord with some like guys that I was friends with in high school and stuff, and like we were all talking about it. And one of the guys was like, "It's really bad. You're gonna love it." I was like, "Does that mean I like bad things?" I was just like, "What are you talking about?" It's just like the corniness. Like right when I finished watching it, I was like, "Well, there's an hour and 45 minutes of my life that's never coming back."
Sure.
But then when I like kind of thought about it, and like this is the thing is like I have these like instant reactions where I'm like, I really like this or I really hated this. And then when I actually like take a little bit of time to think about it, like my opinions change a little bit. And that's kind of how I felt about this movie. I was like, well, this is fucking ridiculous. Like all of it, just 10 out of 10 ridiculous. The cheesiness of the over the top, like, you know, the flawless victory and, you know, fatality and all the, like them doing like the lines from the games and stuff. I was like, that's so lame. But then I like kind of thought about it and it's like, there's like an inherent over the topness to Mortal Kombat.
Sure. All
like,
those games. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think especially Mortal Kombat because like you had all the blood and like finish him and all this. And it's like when you played Mortal Kombat more so than like Street Fighter, for example, which was probably the other main fighting game at the time in the 90s. Like you played Street Fighter, it was like, okay, I'm playing a fighting game, whatever. Mortal Kombat felt like you were kind of doing something you weren't supposed to be doing.
Right.
Because there was like lawsuits and shit about Mortal Kombat because all the blood. And like if you played Mortal Kombat on Nintendo, it didn't have the blood because Nintendo was the family-friendly console or whatever. Like I read like a little bit of an interview with the guy that produced it, like the main producer, and they're like, he produced it because he was a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I'm like, well, shit, somebody call me. I could probably make the Uncharted movie better than it's going to be. When I really like thought about it, it's like, this is who this movie's for.
Right. Yes.
And there is an audience for this more so than some of the other things that we constantly say, like, why is there a reboot? Why is there a rehash? Why are there sequels? Because the 95 movie was probably the best video game movie for a long time, maybe until Sonic the Hedgehog or Detective Pikachu, right? The 97 one was rushed. They wanted to cash in, and it was bad. There's no doubt it was bad, right? But I think that there is an audience for Mortal Kombat in film.
Yeah.
It's just some of the things are just like eye roll cheesy. You know what I mean? I didn't think Goro looked very good. I actually thought Goro looked better in the 95 version when it wasn't CG and it was just like a guy with makeup and like maybe a little bit of CG.
Yes.
I thought Goro didn't look great. And like there was no, like the movie was really rushed. I mean, well, like we said, it was only an hour and 45 minutes. I don't want every movie to be like the Snyder Cut and be 4 hours long. But I do want a little bit of exposition as to why we should give a shit about some of these characters.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
That was
weird.
the thing. It was like Jax, he just shows up and then he has his arm shattered. And then they give him they 3D print him shitty arms and he can't do anything with them. And that's what gives him his special power is like he grows better 3D printed arms. It's like I didn't care about him. Sonya Blade, I didn't care about. They didn't really develop her character at all. I was glad they kept Kano around because he was like comic relief a little bit.
Yeah, like Kano.
I mean, I liked. Like I was texting with a friend. He's like, "What do I need to know about Mortal Kombat? Liu Kang's better than everybody, and he wins." And it's like, Liu Kang's not even the main character, and there's no tournament.
Right.
Ghastly, blasphemy. But they're obviously setting up sequels. We got a little bit of a teaser for Johnny Cage, and the guy that plays Sub-Zero said he's signed for 4 movies.
That's insane.
I don't know if I need 4 Mortal Kombat movies.
We definitely don't need 4. I mean, I like a sequel would be fine because it will actually get a tournament. And then, what is it? Johnny Cage is what's his face will become, like in the because that's his name, right? In the video game.
No,
isn't it?
No. Who? Johnny Cage.
He's not Johnny Cage in the movie though, is he?
Who?
The main character for like the
Cole.
Goods. Yeah, isn't he?
Cole. No, he's not in the games at all.
I thought he was gonna end up being Johnny Cage or something. Okay.
No, did you watch the credit scene
where he like walks past the poster?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to change his name. I thought he was going to change his name.
He's going to find. He's going to find.
He's going to find. Okay, that just. I was not sure if he was going to change his name to Johnny Cage or. Yeah. Okay.
And they kind of set it up that Sub-Zero becomes because in the canon of the Mortal Kombat games he becomes Noob Saibot.
Yeah.
So he's going to become him. That's why he's dead, but he's not really dead, and the whole. Like,
I mean, meeting Johnny Cage will be fun then. Because that's a gnarly character. It's like he's so.
It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they get for him.
Yeah,
I think that's a very important casting choice.
Yes,
moving forward.
Yeah,
and the other thing is we'll probably get Shao Kahn, who's like the real big bad.
Yeah.
Of the Mortal Kombat games, or at least back in the day. I haven't played one of those games in years. But, I think that this movie set out to accomplish exactly what it wanted to accomplish. So here's where I'm at with this. If you like Mortal Kombat, this is definitely a watch.
Yes.
If you don't have a history with the games or you don't really care about Mortal Kombat, this is definitely a pass because you're going to think it's ridiculous.
Yes. 100%. That's exactly... I mean, but that's exactly what they want. They don't care. They don't care if they get anybody outside.
Yeah.
It's not meant for them.
Yeah, this is a movie made for fans by fans.
This is literally a movie made for people of our age. They're like, get your 33 to 43-year-old, guys. That's literally what this movie was made for.
Right. Yeah. Well, in the younger generation that plays the games now and everything, but I didn't think I didn't think that the fight sequences were anything special, to be honest with you.
No, they weren't special. They were just like something that happened again with this movie, but
yeah, I don't think that they're on the level of even what I saw in the Shang-Chi trailers.
Right. Oh no.
You know what I mean? As far as like the kung fu fights, which I was hoping to get a little bit more of. But I liked that they threw in like the whole like the leg sweep scene was really
that was
funny.
Fun. And the kicking in the air. That was, I mean they paid nods,
There was good there was good fan service, but
exactly.
Yeah, it was a movie for fans by fans,
right.
And if you have any history, have ever enjoyed a Mortal Kombat game, then this is going to be a game that you like.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's a fair assessment.
All right, and then on to something that was also just weird. We're going to go to the Oscars, which was weird. They made a decision to push Best Actor to the last award presented to presumably celebrate the life and Oscar win of Chadwick Boseman. Instead, Sir Anthony Hopkins won. However, Hopkins was not present or on a video call, so they accepted the award on his behalf, and the show just kind of ended. Yesterday, Hopkins gave an acceptance speech on Instagram and paid tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Further investigation of Hopkins' team shows the good night is getting pretty senile in his old age. I saw a video of him just dancing. He's just adopting cats in the Caribbean or something.
His Instagram's crazy.
Yeah, it's super
His Instagram's insane.
Yeah.
Like he was making a call to there's a lot of videos. Like he did like a tribute to his dad. And it's just like him like, I don't know if it's like fucking Macbeth or something, but he's just like acting in a garden.
I mean, he's
and
87.
There's another one where he's 83.
He's old.
Yeah. There's another one where he's like holding an Easter egg and he's trying to make a phone call to the Easter Bunny. It's like really weird.
Whoa.
But he didn't think he was going to win.
Nah.
There's a pandemic. He's 83 and it was 4 a.m. his time.
And also, obviously, the producers, including Soderbergh.
How do you not know?
Soderbergh, like, obviously didn't think he was going to win either. Thought Chadwick Boseman was, that's why he put the award last.
How do you not know if you're in charge?
I guess they really keep it that secret. I guess. I don't know. It was
That's
weird.
wild to me.
It's super weird.
I think the other moment of the night was when the dude from Judas and the Black Messiah, the one
Daniel Kaluuya talked about his parents.
Yeah. Talked about his parents having sex. And his mom was there. And she had the exact appropriate reaction of a mom whose child is talking about her conception.
So good.
It's I'll tell you what, it was the same reaction given that a friend of ours has on a routine basis when he is told that he was conceived in a pond.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Same appropriate reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes. Shout out.
Shout out to that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What did he, the father?
Yeah, the father.
Yeah. I don't know, man. All I know is that Mads Mikkelsen movie that won Best Foreign Picture looks freaking dope.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. I think it's streaming somewhere.
Him dancing in the street. It is. I think it's on Hulu.
I think I might watch it tonight. It's like
they're gonna do an American adaptation. It's called like The Last Shot or something.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Of The Last Round.
Yeah, Last Round. That's it.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, this is what I don't understand is they're gonna adapt that for American audiences, and I saw that Leonardo DiCaprio, I believe, was the front runner to play that role. Why wouldn't you just let him play it?
Or just let that movie be its thing. I'm sure it's great and doesn't need an American adaptation.
Well, won an Oscar.
Yeah, won an Oscar. Won an Oscar. Don't need another option.
Not that that's necessarily a huge,
right,
determining factor of quality, because like. I'm of the mind that to be nominated for Best Picture, your movie has to be boring. Like that's the rule.
Yeah.
Like just like make a movie that's really boring, then nothing happens, and you have a great opportunity to be nominated for Best Picture.
For the most part, that's right.
Cause like I was working today and I had a break and my mom was here watching our kids and they were playing in the playroom doing their thing. And so like she was just watching Nomadland on Hulu or
It's
whatever.
on Hulu.
She's just watching that and I like watched it for like 20 seconds and it's just like somebody's getting their head shaved.
Yes.
I was just like, I'm like, nah, there's not enough explosions for me, and just went back upstairs. And then here's another stat that I saw on the heels of the Oscar. Avengers Endgame is the only movie in film history that has ever held the title, if you will, of highest grossing box office film to not win an Oscar.
I can't believe we didn't win a single Oscar for something.
Not a single one.
It's insane to me.
Not a single one. Avatar won 3. I should have put that in the corrections and clarifications because I said it won 11. It won 3.
It was nominated for like 11.
It was nominated for a bunch, yeah.
That's insane. Endgame, at the very least, it should have been nominated for Best Picture because they nominate like 10 movies. You know, like
Right.
Come on, that was easily one of the top 10 Best Pictures of the year.
Well, you know what we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. Is next year we're gonna do our own awards.
Yeah. Let's
For
do
everything.
It. We'll do it.
For music, for TV,
Yes,
for movies,
I love it.
for games. We're going to hand out our own awards. You heard it here.
Oh, get ready. What a year it's going to be.
Number 5. The 147th Kentucky Derby will be held Saturday at the Churchill Downs. Essential quality.
Yeah.
Essential worker. Should be essential worker. Essential quality is the current morning line favored at 2-1. And we'll start from the 14th post. Essential Quality is 5-0 heading into the race. Rock Your World is 5-1, is the 5-1 second choice at the 15th post. And Known Agenda is 6-1 despite drawing the rail. This might as well be written in Chinese. The $3 million race was pushed back to Labor Day weekend last year because of the pandemic, although there was a virtual race held in its stead last year. How do you do a virtual race of horses?
It was hilarious, man. Check it out. Look it up.
I think I might need to.
It's really
This is the first
it's
race
super
of the
funny.
Triple Crown with the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes coming up in the weeks to come. And this is the part that's just mind-blowing. 45,000 people are expected to attend.
I think usually...
Everybody knows the Kentucky Derby is just a party.
Yeah, which is...
Like,
why I brought this up. I mean, I love the Kentucky Derby. This is one of my, like actual peak things for me. I brought that up. Initially this was going to be a note, and then when I read 45,000 people are expected to attend, I think it's like normally around like 200,000 people.
Mind-blowing.
So it's less than a quarter
Still.
of people showing up to this
Still.
thing, which is still nuts, but it's still just going to be a party. Just people hanging out in Kentucky. But why I brought this up is I actually, like, Known Agenda, getting the rail sucks. You gotta come from the outside. Makes the race longer, is why the rail is not good, and you have to go through other horses. But beyond that, I'm not going to get into the little blah, blah, blah about it. The reason why I actually brought this up, and I thought this would be a fun topic, is, like, this is the number one-day event that I want to go to in my life. One-day event. Because you can't say, like, the number one-day event for me would be the Game 7 of the World Series. We don't know you're getting a Game 7 every year.
Right.
So it's like this, and it's sports, whatever. I don't, you could say you could go to the Oscars. You could say you go, whatever. To me, this is my number one, and there just so happens every once in a while it falls on my birthday. So I could actually go there on my birthday and,
So you're
have a
telling
great
me
time.
you'd rather go to the Kentucky Derby than I'm going to throw out 3 notable party events that are sporting events. You'd rather go to the Derby than the Super Bowl.
Yes, 100%.
You'd rather go to the Derby than the NCAA finals in basketball.
The last game?
Yeah.
Yes.
You'd rather go to, and this is the party aspect of it too. It's
This is
not just
everything.
the actual event.
This is everything.
Yeah. You'd rather go to the Kentucky Derby than the NBA All-Star Game.
100%.
Wow.
Yep. It's the party atmosphere. You're definitely going to run into someone. 100% you're going to run
Indy
into
500.
Yep. Indy 500 is actually in my top 3. It's probably number 2 for me is actually NBA Saturday. Not the All-Star game, but NBA Saturday where
Dunk contest,
all the stuff's
3-point.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The All-Star game, you get the All-Star game, which is fine.
Right.
But then NBA Saturday, and then And then Indianapolis 500 is number 3 for me. But this is number 1. You're going to be partying all day. You're betting a ton. You're just like, you're having a great, you're probably going to be making some money because you're just going to throw bets around all day. You're going to run into some people. It's, it's 2 minutes of like theater for the most part. There's races all day long. So it's like the day before you're like setting yourself up for this day too. So you're just like, you're having like, you're crushing it all day. You get to dress up. You wear something nice, wear a crazy hat. To me, this is, and I think it's, like I said, there's a chance I could go on my birthday. It's one of those like few events where like I could time it with my birthday and just, wake up Sunday, who knows where, but just great time. So this is number 1 for me. What about you? What's your number 1? Yeah. What's your list? I mean, I gave you my 3. Yeah.
Home Run Derby's on there. And I actually had an opportunity to go to the Home Run Derby in Cleveland a couple years ago, and then for whatever reason it kind of fell through. That'd have been great because that was when Vlad Jr. went.
He went bonkers tonight,
if I'm not mistaken. I believe. Yeah. Dude, I'll tell you what. Franmil Reyes put one nearly into orbit. It almost hit the scoreboard, which is no small feat. No small feat. So Home Run Derby's on there. I think NBA Saturday with the dunk contest and 3-point contest would be one of those things. And then I would probably say, like you said, that you can't predict that you're ever going to get a Game 7 in any of the playoff things. So I guess I would probably say Super Bowl is the other one. I mean,
it could be anything.
I
say you could go, literally anything that's just one day. Okay. You can just show up. It happens every year. It has to happen every year. Or, I mean, it doesn't have to happen every year. Like, I guess you could say the World Cup final. But, that's in my top 5. But
yeah. Probably the final of the curling at the Winter Olympics. No. I'd really like to go to a day at, like, Lollapalooza or Coachella.
That'd be fun.
Something like that. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. That'd be good. But as far as just sports, I think, like, Super Bowl, Home Run Derby, NBA Saturday.
You're not wrong. There's not a wrong answer with any of these. This is this is why I brought it up.
Yeah,
so, like, this is, like, for me, number 1.
Yeah.
And just a lot of fun. Mint juleps all around.
Right.
Comic-Con would be good.
Comic-Con.
Yeah. San Diego. Right. You have to go do
San Diego, Comic-Con. PlayStation experience if they ever do that again. But,
All right. Well, moving on. It's a topic that's just really, I think, probably a fan favorite now at this point. The movie news roundup. Sony and Disney have made a deal for Spider-Man related MCU specific content to appear on Disney+. These films will come to Disney after they have made their Netflix run, as we previously reported.
So this goes with any of the Spider things that are related to the MCU, which I'm not 100% sure if Venom is, or like Morbius, or any of that stuff, but any of the MCU Spider-Man stuff will, after it makes its initial Netflix run, because we talked about in a previous week that Sony and Netflix had made that deal for Netflix to be at least the first place that Sony movies will stream. It'll migrate over to Disney, and the fun fact about that now is that the only MCU movie that you wouldn't be able to see on Disney Plus once all the Spider stuff is over there is the Universal Edward Norton Incredible Hulk
which
movie.
Is just so great.
Too
bad.
Rats. Right.
Dave Bautista, speaking of the MCU, went to WB and DC to tell them the next time Bane appeared on the big screen, he would be playing him. Just like, that's it. This is what I'm doing.
They said we're not even casting. He's like,
I'm Bane.
This is well. Here's the thing: is he actually is Bane, because in the comics, Bane's Spanish. Like he talks about how like Poison Ivy is a Bruja and all this, and like that's a pretty good pick because Batista is of Hispanic or Latin heritage.
Yeah, it'd be great.
He's also enormous. Like he's not like pretend enormous like Tom Hardy.
Big dude.
Like he's actually enormous. Yeah, like Tom Hardy got beefy for that role, but Batista's just already big.
He was a professional
like he's like
wrestler.
Tall and just jacked. He was a professional wrestler. Yeah. It's really funny to me to like think about. Like, I feel like everybody thought John Cena would be the next guy to make the leap from wrestling to acting after The Rock. And it just hasn't
he keeps
been
building.
there for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some small roles and things like that. But Batista, like, well, first of all, him as Drax is just perfect. Like, I never would have guessed.
That's the thing,
guy
is like
had
John
comedic
Cena would never
chops like
do that to himself. And Dave took it on. He
he's in the
is.
Suicide
But,
Squad
you know,
movie,
there's a thing
the
about
new
like
one.
so not taking yourself seriously at all. Like putting yourself in a role so like not below you in a sense, but you know, making. Okay,
Train
all
wreck?
right, that's true. That's true. There's just Bautista has just a feel to him too. You know, John Cena just looks like the guy at the gym that just does steroids. Bautista looks like a guy you could actually like, oh, let's have a couple beers after the gym. You're still going to the gym either way, but Cena is just like, let me just shoot up some steroids.
This is going to be spoilers if he includes it for the episode, but for some reason we got on the topic of John Cena last night with Dallas, and he said, I thought he was another Wahlberg. Isn't he from Massachusetts? I was like, nah. And I looked it up.
West Sunbury.
West Sunbury, Massachusetts. And he does look.
He has a Wahlberg. Yeah, they all kind of look like that though when you're from that area.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what.
Little broken nose action.
Yeah, but anyway, this is
No, he's a good looking dude.
John Cena's a handsome man.
So are the Wahlbergs.
Yeah.
But
Donnie
Mark.
not so much.
Mark's a great looking dude.
Yeah, Mark's
And
great. Yeah, but John Cena could have been in The Departed though, for sure.
That's true.
Nobody would have missed
you're
a
right.
beat.
Yeah. We already mentioned this, but just to tag it in there, just to say it, John Tasman, who stars as Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat, has signed on for 4 additional films if the movie is successful. So, yeah, so it'll be 5. I bet
We're
we
gonna
get
get
a trilogy.
we're gonna get at least
I bet
one
that's
more.
what ends up happening. Yeah, me too.
I would be fine with that. We don't need
No, nobody
anything
does.
more than that.
This isn't the MCU.
No.
And then I like
No. Or Pirates of the Caribbean.
right.
Wah, wah.
Russell Crowe will play Zeus in the upcoming Thor: Love and Thunder. His role was supposed to be kept secret as a fun cameo. It remains to be seen if the role will be just a cameo or a larger role, as Thor has been known to scrap with Zeus from time to time in the comics. That's fun. And then it'll be a quick
I
cameo.
think it'll just be like a cameo.
He's funny.
but-
He's funny, Russell Crowe. So I think
be fine.
he'll be perfect
Yeah.
fit for this series.
Yeah, well, he's going to fit into whatever they do with the stage play with Matt Damon and
Yes.
what's her name? Melissa McCarthy
Yeah.
signed on to play Hela
That'll be great.
in whatever that production is, and then Liam Hemsworth comes back as
Yes.
whoever he is. That'll be funny. It'll be funny. But we also know that like the Guardians are going to be in there, and I know Chris Pratt's going to be in it, and I would imagine some of the other characters as well, even if it's only for a short amount of time, because it is going to focus on Thor and Jane. Quick hitter time. Game of Thrones prequel House of Dragons will begin filming soon and will debut in 2022. And boy, can't I tell you that I am on the edge of
Sound
my
like
seat.
it. Could you be more excited? Probably something
know
you
that I
are
could.
excited about though is this R2D2. It is you. It is you. Lego will release a 2,314 piece kit, which is hilarious to me. That's that number. For $199.99. The completed set will be 12.2 inches tall or 31 centimeters for our international audience, and will release on May 1st. May Day.
So this weekend, I'm going to we're going to Columbus with the kids. We're gonna take them to the zoo,
Nice.
and then we're also going to go to Legoland.
Yeah,
and if they have this,
should,
I think I'm going to buy
100%.
it. Yeah, I told my son if he's good, maybe he can get a new Lego set at Legoland. And I said if I'm good, I think maybe I can get a new Lego set too. Yeah. Wow, we'll see. No promises. After a fan campaign, LeVar Burton will be one of the guest
That'd be
hosts of Jeopardy.
I mean, we love. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
He'll
fan
be fine.
campaign. he was on. He did like a media tour about this, and like a bunch of people asked him about like oh man, what was it like to be on Star Trek? I was like, fuck that.
Hell
What
yeah.
was it like to be on Reading Rainbow?
Man. Reading.
Just take a look. It's in a book. Reading
same.
Rainbow. I love that show.
I can do anything. Take a look. It's in a book.
They need to
just
bring
bring
that
it
back.
back with him. Who would
Tell me there's not a generation of kids that didn't read because of LeVar
LeVar
Burton.
Burton, the man.
Absolutely.
How I Met Your Mother. What?
Better yet.
Okay.
Oh, I got an even better idea. Let's bring it back, but let's make the host LeVar Ball.
I'm down. It'd be incredible. It'd be so you just talk about like you break into like the book and be like, so this character wouldn't beat me in basketball. I'd be like, well, it never would be that situation. That's not gonna happen.
Calm down, LeVar. No, I think we need to start a fan
LeVar
campaign
Ball.
for that.
LeVar Burton.
LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball.
I'm down.
LeVar Ball
I'm down.
Reading Rainbow.
Release the Pepe Cut.
Release the
How I
Pepe
Met Your
Cut.
Mother spinoff to come to Hulu, starring Hilary Duff. Yeah, that's how I feel. I really liked the first 3 seasons of How I Met Your Mother. No. She
Was
might
she
have been
in
in
it?
it briefly. I don't know.
Why
I
is
just
this a
remember like the
thing? Why
first
is
3
this a
seasons were
thing?
good. It's kind of my Friends thing where like, certain shows just aren't meant to last. And that was a show that wasn't meant to last. And we can't all be Seinfeld, and
I have a rule, and that rule is do not
That's a
watch
great
CBS
rule.
comedies.
you're 100% accurate. The last good CBS comedy. Yep.
MASH.
Yeah. I mean, Everybody Loves
don't know
Raymond
that
was
was a
fine.
CBS.
No,
Cheers?
Cheers was on
Is
NBC.
Cheers
Because they used
on-
to have Cheers, Seinfeld.
No,
Cheers,
never watched it.
predated Seinfeld, but then Cheers, Seinfeld. Yeah. You're right. You're right. by
Never
the way.
watched.
You don't.
Um,
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Whatever that-
Yeah, it's
oh,
fine.
Everybody Loves
Whatever.
Raymond.
I mean, but you're not wrong with doing that as
never watched it.
a way to. Yeah.
Right. May 3rd, the Warriors and Pelicans NBA game will have a special Marvel presentation integration throughout the game. I may watch this just for that and to see if Steph Curry can continue to just play out of his
I
mind.
record the game just so I could come home after work and watch just the Marvel stuff. And Steph Curry possibly play out of his mind.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. The fallout from the nuclear bomb test are in honey. Well, that's fun. Science is crazy, man.
Science is a motherfucker.
I hear that's good for you, though, is you put a little nuclear debris in your honey with your tea. Great for cold season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Right. They said that it's not,
That's why you put it in your tea.
But I don't know how it couldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or on
A little,
toast.
a little peanut
or
butter and honey with nuclear debris.
I like to do a little bit of like beef tips
Oh,
with
nice.
honey and soy sauce.
I just like anytime I
And
see someone have
Fallout,
like the actual like
apparently.
honey spoon, you know what I'm talking about? And like if you see someone actually do
Yeah,
it, you're like,
yeah.
no one actually owns
Yeah.
that. No one has that. You're all squeezing honey
Right.
out of a thing. Hopefully a bear. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Has to be.
default. Has to be.
So
Media
did watch
recommendations.
Nomadland. Yeah.
I see you have heartburn. Do you have
Pepto Bismol.
you taking anything for it? Tums?
Indigestion. Heartburn is a Nora
Not
Ephron
into-
book that got turned into a movie. Meryl Streep, Jack Nicholson, directed by. Oh my god, my brain just stopped for a second. Mike Nichols, which I'm a big fan of Mike Nichols after reading one of his biographies. When I read the second one, movie's great. It's a woman who gets married and then finds out her husband's cheating on her and all this stuff. It's just a great character study, and it's Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson. And there's this thing. I mean, there's a lot of great actresses out there and win awards, but then you watch a Meryl Streep performance, and you're like, that's right. That's why she's won literally all of them, because she is great at everything. So that one I really recommend. I think it's on Hulu. I think I'm right. It's either Hulu or HBO Max. So that's really good. Watch Nomadland. Like you said, I mean, it's like yeah, there's not explosions or anything, but Frances McDormand is really good in it. I mean, there's just a thing that Frances McDormand does that a lot of people can't do, and she really does it well. And then Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, we also watched that. The movie is very much focused on Chadwick Boseman, which is great. It was...
Yeah.
The thing I'll say about Murray is it's trying to get Chadwick Boseman that Oscar without knowing. I mean, you kind of look at him and you're like, after finding out what happened, he is very skinny and, all this stuff. But, he's really good in it. I still end up going with The Sound of Metal as my favorite movie that was in this category, Invisible Man being my favorite movie of the year. But I think they're both definitely worth watching. Mank, not worth watching at all, like I've said. At all. I'll probably watch The Father at some point.
I told Dallas that you said that Mank was masturbatory, and we wondered if it was nominated for an Oscar or an AVN. Based on that.
Yeah, probably. Oh my god. What are your media recommendations?
Yeah. Well, I started watching. I started watching Harry Potter because we're doing Harry Potter in May here, and then I'm still just like I said. I've been playing these games for weeks now. Mortals, Phoenix Rising, NBA 2K, and Bravely Default 2 on the Switch. I'm just kind of June 11th is Ratchet and Clank, so I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for that. So as I've talked about, I've set the goal of one book a month for the year, and I was ready to get off science fiction, at least temporarily, because I had read the three Star Wars books and Ready Player 2, which is basically sci-fi. I was a little bit burnt out on the genre, so I asked a guy I know that works at a bookstore.
Handsome fella.
I said, yeah, debonair, definitely. Gentleman and a scholar. So I said, I asked you, I said, this is what I'm looking for. I want something that is, action-packed but also grounded in reality. And so you said, check out this book 2034. And so I ordered it off Amazon. And
oh, good.
I haven't been able to put it down, man. So perfect recommendation. I think I started it like in earnest. I want to say, like Sunday or Monday, and I'm through. It's not long. Yeah. It's just a shade over 300 pages, and I passed 100 pages tonight, and I'm just like, here's the crazy thing. So the book is about the Third World War, and I'm not going to spoil things too deeply, but the incident that occurs that triggers the conflict is 3 American naval ships cruising through the South China Sea, just because America's got the big swinging dick, basically. And I checked the news today because I always like in between my sessions and stuff. I'll just like see what's going on, check the news, whatever. And I click on this thing and it's like British Navy will send flotilla through the South China Sea. I was like,
"Yep,
I'm gonna keep an eye on this shit." Because, damn. But it's funny, like, I've said ad nauseum that George Martin needs to finish the 6th Game of Thrones book, and he's been working on it for the better part of a decade. Like, this book, I mean, it's hardback, so it's obviously pretty new, I'm guessing. But, like, it references, and it takes place in the year 2034, but it, like, references, like, the coronavirus pandemic, and it talks about, like, Mike Pence was a one-term president and stuff like that. So it's been written in the last year. Come on, George.
Figure it out.
Get your shit together,
George.
Get your shit together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tighten up the suspenders. Stop writing for these prequel cartoons.
Get together, George.
That nobody cares about. Here's the thing: is like I'm sure that people are excited about the House of the Dragon. And like that whole prequel thing, I can tell you that nobody's excited about a prequel cartoon of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
facts. 100% facts. So, as you kind of alluded to, this week, the challenge and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier ended. We're going to do Bad Batch, and we're going to do Loki when it rolls around. But I do think it's probably worth
2?
talking about.
Oh.
We have one thing planned. I'm still not going to talk about it, not until we get closer to June. But I do think that maybe we need to put something out there asking maybe what the listeners want to see. Do they want to see more retro movie reviews? Because we were kind of doing those for a while. Do they want us to see, pick a random ass TV series and do like week by week or whatever? So I think I'll put a poll or something out there and see what might be interesting for the people. By the time this goes live, we'll have recorded our top 10 animated films. I'm excited for that. I think there's going to be some.
Got a quick question about that. I was asked today, does that involve stop motion? I thought yes. Because it's still not people.
Yeah, but it's also not animated. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
like the Lego movies are stop motion. Yeah. I would say
Okay.
claymation, yes. Stop
Claymation,
motion, no. Well,
I think it's Shaun
what's
the
the
Sheep.
movie in question?
Like Wallace and
I don't
Gromit.
even know what the hell that is. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to say claymation,
Okay.
yes. So like Nightmare Before Christmas, for example. But just standard stop motion. I'd have to look it up. I
Shaun
wanna
the
look it
Sheep.
up. Shaun, what's it called? Shaun
It's really
the
good
Sheep?
if you've never seen it.
I think I've heard of it. Let me see some pictures. I can render a verdict.
Yeah, it is.
Well, this looks like claymation. Yeah, then that's
Okay.
yeah, that's allowed. Yeah. It's just not, yeah.
I think my list is done. I just
say
gotta
that's
order
allowed.
them.
I haven't started it yet. I know what my top 3 are. I just don't know what the other 7 are. I know things that are in there. I just don't know where they lie. I know what the top 3 is.
Transformers number 1.
So no spoilers. I said no spoilers.
I meant the newest one.
So
Oh,
Those aren't animated.
the Japanese. No, the Japanese.
the Michael Bay
I
shit.
guess it's a series, not a movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I thought you meant the 1987
No,
masterpiece.
I didn't. Right.
No, I said no. I said no spoilers. So it looks like this is all getting cut out. Anyway, BXG podcast posts every Friday. Every Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 a.m.
Aloha.
Pacific, 2 a.m. Hawaiian, on podcast services around the globe: Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Pandora, all those things. Social media accounts: BXG at BXG Podcast on the Instagram.
Yeah.
I would say that's where we do most of our like promoting and stuff like that is on the Instagram. Facebook.com/BXG Podcast, YouTube.com/BXG Podcast for episodes and video segments. And Instagram at GTFills at Y2B for our individual stuff. Share, recommend,
Tell your mothers.
tell your friends, tell your family. To make something new,
Yeah,
man. Just
anything.
do something different.
Whatever.
Like, just... And the unmistakable essence of the
Thanks for
BXG
listening,
podcast.
everyone.
Take care, friends.